Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my English-speaking friends. Et bonjour à mes amis français long to this, the DotA2.fr League Season 5 Division 1. This is the English cast. My name's JT here with VicaraGaming, and joining me, also from VicaraGaming, is KungFuSoySauce. How's it going?
Hello there, GT. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's been a rather laid-back day. It's a nice sunny day here in the UK.
Dire
So
team pick.
we're having a nice chilled time. But we have a fantastic game here for you right at the top of the Dota 2 French League. Team Exception taking on BriT team. Probably not as British as their name would imply.
Radiant team pick.
I don't know. I'm not one for French geography, but I am one for Dota, and I know you are too. So we've already seen the first bans, the first picks. We've seen the AA and the Centaur banned by Exception. Britain have taken away the Invoker and the Ember. They've picked the Dazzle for themselves. Team Exception replying with a Nyx and a Lycan. What do you think we're going to be seeing fill these teams out later on in the draft?
10 seconds
Well,
remaining.
looking at these picks, and a lot of it is reminiscent of the last patch, the
5 seconds
the
remaining.
0.80, and it's like a lot of teams have been experimenting with a lot of different lineups in 0.81, but this draft here seems pretty standard of the last patch towards the end. As you see the AA and the Centaur ban, they're just heroes that were very strong towards the end of the last patch.
Yeah.
The Ember Spirit, Invoker. Most of these heroes have actually been well, not really like nerfed, but like they have received a little bit of some tweaking. Like Lycan has been had a nerf to his ultimate with his HP. You have Nyx Assassin. You know, he wasn't really too strong or anything. He just ended up fitting the meta at the time, and same with the Dazzle. Dazzle kind of was a result of a lot more greedier support picks because of Ancient Apparitions.
That said, they are all still very strong picks, especially the Lycan, purely because it's not so much the fact that his health when he was in ultimate form was the game-breaking thing about him. He's still got that insane pushing power when he pops up the howl. You know, concerted push with a Lycan can get a tower down in a few seconds without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, no, that's the thing with the Ice Frog. He doesn't nerf the main strength or the overarching theme of the hero. He just nerfs where they're already weaker to just help other people exploit their already current weakness. And I mean, like Lycan originally during the TI2 days, he was just played as a straight up BKB carry, and then after TI2 when he received nerfs to his wolves, he just couldn't jungle, and he just fell out of competitive play for like 2 years. And now, without any changes, he just re-emerged like the last patch, and all he did was just touch his HP. Now he's pretty much the same hero since before.
Now, Viper, here's a pick that we've slowly started seeing more.
10 seconds remaining.
And it's always usually a Viper that goes in the safe lane and then rushes a mech.
Radiant team
Takes a lot
ban.
of pressure off the supports to get that mechanism, because the Viper can happily farm it up so quickly. And the moment he gets it, he can then suddenly start doing a lot of damage in team fights. Very unique one position in the fact that he needs a support item to become
10
team fight
seconds
ready.
remaining.
Well, Viper is a very
5
strong and
seconds
potent
remaining.
mechanism carrier, just due to the fact because of his passive, the corrosive skin. It gives him
Reserve
bonus
time.
magic resistance, and it also applies debuffs to anyone who wants to attack him. The great part about that is that it helps him survive longer. Like, he already has bonus resistance, and the mechanism will just make him more and more tanky.
10 seconds remaining.
Definitely. And a tanky Viper with a mechanism, it's so hard to bring down.
Dire team
Like,
ban.
at the moment, the only way that Team Exception would look to be able to bring it down is some very well-placed Nyx Assassin stuns, and then the Lycan
Dire
would have to
team
both pop the
pick.
Wolves and the Howl. Visage,
Radiant
pick from
team
Exception.
pick.
I think that's a fantastic pick, especially with the Lycan, because that Howl will affect those familiars, and towers are going to absolutely melt. Britain team, they don't seem to have much in the way of counter push at the moment. And they seem to have banned out a lot of counter push. They've banned out the Shadow Shaman, they've banned out the Venomancer. Obviously both pushing heroes, but at the same time, both equally as good for counter pushing. What do you think they're likely to
10
go with?
seconds remaining.
Well, they do need some counter push power
5
just because
seconds
of how their
remaining.
lineup is set up, but I think they need to focus on physical lockdown to just lock down the
Reserve
heroes such
time.
as Visage and Lycan so that they
5
don't
seconds remaining.
get away without, like, if they overexert, then they can punish them
Dire
for
team pick.
being overzealous and trying to take down those towers, because Howl, the cooldown is like not that long, and like when you pop it, you want to get as much damage in before you like get out of there. And if you can punish them for that, then it's better off for you guys. And we do see the Rubik pick up, which is vital for the initiations, the counter initiation. The thing is, for
10
Team
seconds
Brits on
remaining.
team, Viper, like, sure, he's a great mech carrier,
5
and yeah, he
seconds
can play the one
remaining.
position, but like, if you do go that mechanism, like, he's gonna lack the right click damage. His damage
Reserve
is gonna be
time.
coming like strictly from his passive, the I believe Nether Toxin. And the thing about that is that it doesn't it scales with HP percentages, but the actual damage does not scale very well towards the end game.
Yeah.
And the poison damage, that's just static number damage, and that's only effective like in the mid game. And if you end up getting like ags and a mech, then like you're really lacking on the right click, and you have to end the game either fast or transition very hard. Otherwise, you're not gonna have the right click damage as to compared to like the Lycan. Sure, the Lycan, he doesn't come online as quickly, and he's not really like a true right clicker, but his passives are percentage based, and that scales much better than anything that Viper has.
Definitely. So, Exception have got this at the late game so far, but then again, we do still have 2 picks for each side. Exception, they're going to pick up the Axe.
Radiant team.
What
That
do you
is
think they're
a
thinking is
very
behind the
aggressive.
Axe?
Well, they have a very aggressive lineup. So like Lycan, like the Axe can help, like depending on how they lane it, they can create a lot of space for the Lycan, and the Lycan really only needs to just get 1 or 2 items up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they have many laning possibilities. I mean, Nyx Assassin, you kind of sometimes. You don't really play him mid anymore, like for a long time, but you could put him mid.
10
We
seconds
did see
remaining.
popular Nyx Assassin in the off lane for a bit, and
Yep.
you do see him run it as
5
a support,
seconds remaining.
and that's a very potent support combo with the Visage, because the
Reserve
Impale and the
time.
Mana Burn just help bring up those soul assumption charges like very
Dire team ban.
it's just Visage is such a great damage dealing hero because of his soul assumption, and if they put him in a tri lane, he's just an amazing tri-lane hero.
Yeah.
And with the Nyx, like, just because you have the Nyx Assassin, that's just perfect setup to anything. Like, sure, the Lycan can like build some damage with his wolves,
10
but the thing is,
seconds remaining.
he's just gonna be farming while Nyx and the Visage, if they choose to run
5
with him,
seconds remaining.
they're just gonna be harassing and just making sure they have control of the lane. And if you can run it with an Axe too, like an
Reserve
aggressive
time.
Axe lane. And like Axe is just causing so much. He can create so much damage as if he's touching heroes with his spin, and especially because they changed it so that his spins are more reliable, less random.
Radiant
Although
team
overall it's
ban.
still kind of the same. The spin damage just helps build up those charges so well, and
Yeah.
it works. Like, there's good synergy between their team right now for Team Exception.
There it is. And Lycan, to be effective against Team BriT's lineup,
10
all he really
seconds
needs
remaining.
is a BKB. That's all he needs. He'll be able to negate so much of the
5
Viper's
seconds
additional
remaining.
damage. Rubik won't be able to touch him. Nature's Prophet will have just about the right amount of
team
right
pick.
click, but that's about it. Lycan gets a BKB. He will effectively be able to rip through the team. Exception, there's
Brilliant team
their
pick.
counter to the Nature's Prophet, a direct counter pick there. Pop the Tinker up. Nature's Prophet just can't split push a lane against a Tinker. I like that pick.
It really depends on how much farm this Tinker can get and how greedy.
Yeah.
Because Team Exception, it's not really too greedy, but the Tinker is a hero that, like, depending on how you want to play him, like, sure, you can play him the ganking, like lane control with the
10
rockets and
seconds
lasers,
remaining.
but like you usually see people play a bit more greedy and just go for the March of the
5
Machines
seconds remaining.
and have someone stack up your ancients and stuff, so like you can get that gold. And that's, in my opinion, a bit greedier, but like that type of Tinker needs like so much support, like, to help them in the lane, and I just don't see that happening with the Lycan and Axe to like have to keep up with.
So, based on the draft, who do you think's got this at the moment? Who do you think's got the better draft or the more clear draft?
The more clear draft, I would say, is Team
Prepare
Exception,
for
but the
battle.
thing is that it's all depends on pretty much how they execute it, and if they execute it well, like immaculately, then they would have the upper hand. But they're also up against a Storm Spirit and Tinker. I think that was a poor decision from Team BriT's part, because Storm Spirit is very immobile until level 6, and because he's immobile until level 6, it gives Team Exception an opportunity to gank that Storm Spirit prior to 6. Like they can devote resources to help either the Axe or the Lycan, and come back down middle lane and jump that Storm Spirit before he gets his mobility.
Okay, well,
30
we are now
seconds to
in game.
battle.
It's the DotA2.fr League Season 5 Division 1. BriT taking on Team Exception here on VicaraGaming, the official English cast here. And on the Radiant side, we have Team BriT. They have 3 people lurking in the jungle. Just going to go through the players. On the Dazzle, if you're pure. My pronunciation is awful there. Viper going to be played by 7. Blue Dark taking the
The
Rubik.
battle
Nature's Prophet
begins.
be taken to the solo safe lane, it looks like, by PH Alex. And that leaves Storm Spirit played mid by Kazoo. Who do we have on the Dire side?
On the other side, we have, sitting on the Lycan pink, is Tib. Sitting on the Nyx Assassin, we have Azor, and Kuko on the Visage. Playing our mid Tinker is Lakio, and lastly our Axe is Wiz Hustle.
This is a fun little lane here. We're going to have a solo safe lane Nature's Prophet going against an Axe. So the Axe is going to get lots of opportunities for spins against those Treants. And we've got a tri-lane versus tri-lane going on here. Well, at the moment it's dual lane because the Dazzle's roaming just to do some warding. Looks like we're going to have that Rubik Viper Dazzle against Lycan, Nyx and Visage. Lots of action there. You were mentioning the Nyx, Visage, Lycan tri-lane. Going to be a lot of action there.
But at the same time, you look at the tri-lane for running for BriT, they have a very defensive and reactionary tri-lane.
Yeah.
So like, even if they get caught out of position, they're going to be able to like counteract it like no problem. They have lifts, they have graves, they have... The poison is kind of like until later levels, like stay away and back off kind of mechanic. And the thing is, the Nyx Assassin and the Visage, they need levels. Well, the Visage needs levels to get that damage up.
What they really do need to be doing though is they need to be disrupting this pull going on here, because at the moment they're all happily sat around farming the creeps, but at the moment the Nyx and Visage are getting a pull off. They're denying a whole lane of XP to what will already be an under-level tri-lane.
Yeah, meanwhile we see Axe just jumping creep waves, giving Furion so much trouble.
And he can be fine with that because the enemy team supports are happily in an aggressive tri-lane situation. He can just happily do that. No fear of being ganked. Furion can't exactly do much damage to him. So he can just happily creep cut here, let the lane push out.
Yeah, they kind of have a kind of a passive aggressive tri-lane with the Dazzle.
Mid lane. First blood there. I just managed to catch the end of it. that Tinker taking advantage of how weak Storm Spirit is in those first 2 levels. He's going to get the Invis Rune bottled as well. Gets the laser. Looks like he's not skilling much of the machine at the moment. He's gone for the laser and missile, so looking to get us a lot of damage out.
We have initiation top.
Initiation top. 7 gets shallow graved out. Pick stun onto the Rubik. Wolves are out as well. 7 manages to get away. He salves himself up through the grave. Let's see whether or not these wolves can get to him. I don't think they're going to be able to kill him. Meanwhile, Azor, he's taking a lot of damage, salves himself up, but he gets caught in the corner. 7 takes the last hit. Really nicely left by Blue Dark there. 1 kill to 1. And the aggressive tri-lane really doing it. And you mentioned it, there was some initiation on top there. A good shallow grave, a defensive lift. All of a sudden, BriT were in a position to turn it all round.
Now that Nature's Prophet, he has no mana. He can't really contest against this axe. He's in trouble.
Needs to be careful though, right next to the tower. I like it. Very ballsy axe play. It's how you meant to play axe, like a man. 2 spins in a row. Oh dear. Gonna try and get away. Oh, H Hustle. He's taking a lot of damage. Nicely duped there by PH Alex, just running, dipping into the trees. Letting the tower do its damage as well. Such a good lane for Axe initially, and he's just sort of given away that lead. Got his Tranquil Boot. He's up at 20 CS, but still, did not need to give that kill away to the Nature's Prophet.
Not fast enough.
Looks like we could have a gank mid lane. Azor is lurking there, trying to catch out Kazoo on the storm. Let's see if Kazoo... He's playing defensively, he's sticking next to his tower, but that's just because the creep wave's there. He gets a little bit too far forward. He could be on the receiving end of a stun and a missile. Azor took himself out of the lane. Sad, Nix.
Yeah, about that rotations earlier, but when Tinker got first blood, that was a good play by him. He decided to not go with a build that is more greedy and that does rely on teammates to back him up. I think that was a beautiful choice.
Nyx Assassin has picked up a haste rune there, misses the stun onto PH Alex, but he's going to chase him into the trees. Out comes the Nature's Prophet ulti doing a lot of damage, and Azor's having to wrap around the trees now and juke. No, but those creeps are in there and they're going to lock him in. Out comes the Battle Hunger. PH Alex.
Initiation top as well.
Initiation top. Soul charges, Solar Something goes off, but Kirko takes too much damage. And there is the grave, just to guarantee that 7 survives. Pops the stick charge, he's been chased by creeps, and he takes a final tower hit. 4 kills to 2 to BriT now. PH Alex, he's very slippy on this Nature's Prophet, really juking around the trees a lot. But he hasn't actually died yet, he's survived 2 pretty strong
Radiant's
ganks.
bottom tower is under attack.
I just wanted to say that the Visage, when he died top just now, he kind of blocked the enemy from killing their Lycan, so that was a good sacrifice on his part. But, like, you know, ultimately he had to suffer because of it.
In which case, good trade for Team Exception there. Losing the Visage support, taking out that aggressive tri-lane carry. Let's have a look at the last hits and denies. Axe and Tinker leading the way by quite a bit. But mid lane, actually, it's close. It's 26-0 versus 24-5. There's that. Now he's going for the points into March of the Fiends. He's hit level 7 on the Tinker, has the Yuko even.
Radiant's middle
I'll get it
tower
right eventually.
is under attack.
And now he's got his 3 levels in March of the Fiends, so he can really farm, and he's not too far away from those boots of travel. Choosing not to go for the Soul Ring first.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I just want to note, I feel that Team BriT is making a mistake right now.
How so?
Tinker, he has 1,700 gold to his name, and there's no help coming in to shut him down. Like, if he dies once, he loses so much gold. His travels is going to be like on time / early, and he didn't even touch no Ancients yet.
Yeah. They are committing a hell of a lot to this aggressive tri-lane. And, like you say, if that Tinker doesn't get any pressure put on him, it's not going to work in their favour. And Tinker's having an absolutely fine time against Storm Spirit. I just want to mention Axe now, 44-0. He's picked himself up the headdress and the Tranquil Boots already. And he's just happily creep cutting. Just no problem. Once again, another mistake from BriT. They could be putting on a lot of pressure onto this Axe. But they're choosing not to. Nature's Prophet ulti comes out, the lift is there onto Tib. He's taking a lot of damage from the Viper. but they're going to be able to duck behind the towers. The wolves chasing down KungFu. KungFu. There we go. Like I said, don't speak a word of French.
That's
Except for the French that I used at the beginning, you know. I believe. And hello to my friends. That's about it.
I mean, it's great and all, but I think this Nature's Prophet, he went phase boots early. Sure, he got a kill early and stuff, but like he actually doesn't have that much. And I think that he should have maybe won a Midas, or at least participate in some of these ganks or initiations at the top, because they essentially have 4 heroes on the call.
So BriT not really rotating a lot,
Boots of travel.
sticking to their lanes, whereas EX is the rotation from the Tinker. He's got those boots of travel already. He's got that point in rearm. So this is where tinkering begins. 8 minutes in, he gets lifted up, but those March machines doing so much damage. That was a lot of burst damage to that Rubik. The Rubik really did not stand a chance. Level 2 laser, level 2 missiles while standing in there. Azor's getting wrapped around by BriT though. That's 1-for-1 trade. HSU's trying to roll in there. He gets the Battle Hunger off onto PH Alex. And the boot travel coming in for the Tinker now already. He's picked up the Soul Ring recipe. Acing by the axe, that long range, and there's the dunk. HSU gets the kill. Now 5 kills to 4 it was do so. Team Exception, they've made the most out of these rotations. They've made the most out of the fact that they haven't rotated a lot. Got themselves back in the kills, and this is a scary moment because that Tinker's got, said it earlier, that Tinker's got very early. He's going to be an absolute terror to do.
And I also want to mention that, you know that initiation top when Tinker ported top, and then there was the Rubik and 7, they were fighting them? I mean, normally a Tinker wouldn't be allowed to do that. I mean, a Viper, you're going to go against a Viper and a Rubik? All you need is a lift and like some poison and he's literally dead. But the thing is, they had a tri-lane top the whole time.
Big gank coming in from PH Alex there, gets the big Nature's Prophet ulti off, takes the Lycan down to really low health, TPs in, gets the final hit, and he also wraps the Visage in. So nice gank coming from BriT. 6 of one, half dozen of the other at the moment. That Tinker in a bit of a getting ready to snowball, but BriT are making the most out of these ganks. It looks like they're going to be pushing the first tower of the game. First tower going down. It's 9 minutes in. We've got a Furion on one side and a Lycan on the other, and we're only now seeing a tower go down.
It was just given how the lineups were going. PH Alex is doing what he has to do. Like he's actually doing the port and the impact that he needs to do for his team right now, because they do have a Tinker with the teleport boots, and as I was mentioning earlier, like the Tinker normally isn't allowed to do that, but because of that tri-lane that was very defensive and not accomplishing much top, the Viper and the Rubik were only level 3/4 when the Tinker came.
The Tinker pops off the missiles and the march of the machines. Grave coming up very early onto KungFu. H-Hustle gets trapped in the trees. Nice early preemptive Grave there, just trying to make sure that KungFu doesn't get done. I'm going to take a little quick moment to turn down my game volume because I think it is quite loud.
No worries, looks like we have Azor wrapping around, going for BriT Kazu right now. There's the Impale, no Mana Burn, no Impale yet. There's the Impale committed on BriT Kazu, but no commitment from the team, and Azu's on the run. He's going to get zipped on, but he pops Excellence, Spike Therapist.
Nature's Prophet ulti again doing so much damage. It's one of those things you don't tend to think of a lot when you're against a Nature's Prophet, but it really can turn a team fight, even if you're halfway across the map. Just pop that on, it suddenly does about 600 damage to the enemy team. All of a sudden, they're half dead from being at health. It's really been doing a lot of work this game. Gonna have to see some sort of magic resistance come out soon.
The difference between pubs and amateur/pro games is that in pubs, like Furions just spam that Nature's Prophet ultimate off every cooldown just to farm. Like you're supposed to be saving it for those team fights.
Got the 4-man push here mid. Azor is lurking there. Gets the D ward off. Nice bit of vision denial there. Hib on that Lycan. He's got the space. You mentioned they are creating a lot of space for that Lycan, and he's finally farming up the jungle. His CS isn't the best though. 44, 11 minutes in. That's not the quickest. But then again, he did have an aggressive tri-lane against him. Meanwhile,
well,
7. He's got the mech up already.
Well, the thing about The thing about the mechanism and the Vladimir is that they're both essentially the same cost. So technically, Viper and Lycan, they have the same amount of farm.
Yeah. Except Lycan's was in his safe lane, whereas the Viper, it was in an aggressive lane. So I think the Viper has a little more chance because his mech makes him a lot more survivable in team fights than that Lycan's Vlads, I would say. Like, here we go, we've got a 5 of BriT are stacking up mid, getting ready to maybe push this tower. That Viper with the mech there, he'll be able to do a lot more than that Lycan with the Vlads will. Yeah, so we're going to take that opportunity, have a look at the XP and gold graphs, which are of course partially obscured by the paused sign. The XP, sorry, is dead even. That last tower going down, that last few kills, even though it's 8 kills to 4. Tower advantage, slightly lead of EX. Just under 500 in favour of Team Exception, so both teams very even.
The game's still too early, to be honest. Like, sure, they're all exchanging stuff, and this moving into the mid game right now. But like, I'd say the game could go either way. But the Tinker is, after getting the travels, I'm not gonna say he's playing poorly or underperforming, but like things just haven't been going his way after that kill on the Rubik. And like, I did mention earlier that the tri lane for the Viper and the Rubik with the Dazzle, they didn't get much XP because they were constantly 3 in lane while the Nyx Assassin came and went. And also the Visage kind of came and went and pulled once in a while, but the Nyx actually roamed, so they were able to get more XP on those heroes.
Back into the game. What do you think of this item build on the Axe, going for the Mech Rush instead of the Blink Rush? A lot of Axes go for a Blink Rush just for that initiation. He's decided to go for the Mech. Do you think that's in sort of reaction to the fact that the Viper will be Mech Rushing? So they might as well get their own one online quickly, or...
I think that they thought that he might have done better in the bottom lane and would have had more gold by now. But yeah. I feel that the Blink is more important given the mobility of the enemy heroes. Like, I would...
Sorry, TB cancelled there by the Tinker. They're pushing this tower down, and EX, they're staying backed off, and you're really seeing the effect of no Blink on the Axe, because if that Axe had the Blink Dagger there, he would be right in there, blink in the middle of them, get the call off, and that would be a huge initiation. And because he hasn't done that, BriT have been able to just sort of back off from chipping half the health of this tower away and leaving once again more space for their carry.
I feel like the Axe is maybe building a 4-staff, possibly Rod of Atos, but I'm pretty sure he got that Staff of Wizardry for a 4-staff, so I guess he really wants his stats. Initiation?
He's on to Kirko. There is the TP in from the Nature's Prophet as well. That's one very dead Visage. Nice little pick off there from BriT, catching the Visage ever so slightly out of position, backing out a little slower than his team. That's what you can really do as a Storm Spirit. Nicely done by Kazoo. And they're going to be able to take the tower down. Weave's there just to make sure everybody's got lots of armor. And they push this any further. Meanwhile, top lane, we've got a bit of counter push here. PH Alex is going to be able to be in there. And a ward going up in the Ancients. Stop the Tinker from getting a lot of farming done.
Well, it might be a waste. Initiation mid.
Yep, there is the zip forward. Statics, Vortex is up there. Axe dies a very quick death. Once again, it's a case of you're a little bit slower than the rest of your team to back off from a potential team fight. Suddenly the Storm Spirit's there to absolutely punish you, and Kazoo's doing that really well. Spotting these openings to zip in and get the Vortex off really quickly, and he's now got 3 kills to his name. Picked up that DD as well. EP onto Tib from PH Alex there. In comes the zip from Kazoo. He's like an ulti's out there, but it's too late. He gets vortexed in. And he gets blocked in by the trees. Meanwhile, we're going to have a little bit of a incursion into the enemy jungle. Tokyo. That's it. Nothing really done.
You can see that the stat initiation on the Lycan, like as soon as after that engagement, Storm Spirit had no mana. So if that Lycan actually had the bonus 300 health from his ultimate, he actually would have lived. So you can see these slight changes in effect.
Oh, and there's our first Rubik spell steal of the game, it seems. Haven't seen many of those indicators pops up. Picks up the Nyx Impale. That's a really nice spell to have as a Rubik, purely because you've got such a better cast animation than an Nyx Assassin. Makes it a lot easier to hit, because it is quite a hard spell to hit now that the hero targeting. Obviously, if you're a Rubik, instant cast, not a problem.
And also on the upside, that actually gives them a source of AoE crowd control, because if you look at BriT's team, they actually don't have any AoE CC.
All they really have is that Storm lockdown, and that's a single target lockdown. That's about it. Obviously, a well placed Sprout. You don't really want to be absolutely relying on that. You want some nice stun, nice easy lockdown, and they've got that now with that Rubik, who does only have the mana boots to his name. He's got a wand and some sentry wards in the stash.
Initiation on the ancient camp.
Yep. So you mentioned that the ward there might have been a waste. Definitely.
Yeah,
not.
I'm gonna have to bite my words on that, because I was about to mention it that that sure they could block camps, but they weren't actually stacking it in the first place.
I don't think it was more to. I think it was more to stop the stack. Obviously, it helps stopping the stack. It's more because you've got a Lycan and you've got a Tinker. Both of them like to farm ancient. Who has an imp? He's just right behind enemy. Are there as well? They've been stolen by the root. Oh, but they've seen them. He's popped them in vision of the tower.
We have the blink dagger on the Tinker, but as I was saying earlier, like it's up to Exception to actually execute their game plan, and I really think that mechanism should be a blink dagger on the axe, even though they probably have a plan for this 4-staff mech build. I just feel like they would have done so much more with that blink dagger, because they're not finding off the pickoffs at all.
Nature's Prophet's picked up himself up a Shadow Blade quite a while ago. Uses the ulti to get himself a kill, or was it the ulti? He did TP in. I thought he was TPing back to base, but really nice TP in for him. And just to take out that Visage. That Visage dying a lot. He's at 4 deaths right now. Very sad Visage. That Furion, he's picked up his Shadow Blade, and there's no real detection on the side of Team Exception. And he's just able to pop into a lane, pop out again, pop in, pop out. And they're not really punishing him trying to get away with that Shadow Blade at all.
I mean, like they haven't gotten a single kill since the 9 minutes on Team Exceptional.
Really haven't. And they could have got so more. They could have easily caught out this Nature's Prophet with his trousers down. And Azor, they know that it was warded. Pops down the D ward. Obviously spotted out. Let's see if they can make him pay. I don't think they're going to be able to. In fact, this could be very dangerous. They're rolling in there, and there's 3 of them there. Tinker missiles come out. Kazoo and Blue Dart. Kazoo zips away, but Azor gets hit with the stun. He kicked the beehive there, and then stuck around a little bit too long, and paid for it. And there's that kill finally for Exception. Back on the kills. They can see the sentry wall.
And you know, like, I wouldn't say that's what Exception needs to do, because that was just more of a BriT making a mistake on their own and just being overzealous, because they haven't been on the ball protecting their own people. So BriT has just been like, oh, we can get these pickoffs, so we're just going to keep going for these pickoffs that look so easy. And Exceptional have finally actually responded.
And
saying,
they're taking
like,
a Roche from this, and they've got that. They took that Roche down very, very fast. That's an Aegis for the Lycan now. He's got his medallion, 1.6k gold, so he's going to have his BKB up in about, I'd say, 8 or 10 minutes if he keeps farming well. So this is where the Lycan can start to be a little bit of a worry. Team BriT, they can't stop him before he reaches that critical mass. They're not going to be able to take this late game. EX have the much better late game lineup with that Lycan, with that Tinker. And he's just going to be able to woof away. And the Visage Familiar gets the kill on the tower. That's nice. That's always cute to see. That tower was in deny range. 3 people there. There's that Blink Dagger on the axe. Like you say there. So just a casual staff of wizardry, it seems, at the moment. Maybe he might go into a full staff or an Atos. Could even go into a Necrobook, depending on how much pushing they really want to do. I doubt it. You don't.
The Nature's Prophet has the Necro 1 already, and he's gonna be looking to push. Like every time the Lycan's gonna push, he's gonna push even harder. The Tinker hasn't really been pushing that much because he's actually needed in the fights. Like he actually needs to be in position to defend towers and fight against heroes, because he's the one that's most farmed.
When you look at the Battle of the Split Push, I think Team Exception. Oh, sorry. Just interrupt there. There is a zip onto Lakuyo. He gets absolutely locked down by Kazoo and PH Alex. Axe manages to take out. Who did Axe manage? Axe managed to get the Tinker.
Essentially, what happened was Dazzle was out of position, and I think Stormspear was walking away. No, it was Viper. Sorry, Viper was walking away. Nyx Assassin was invisible, hit, impaled, and then Axe blinked in and finished him off. It was nothing too special. It was just out of position.
And there's the Necro book on the Lycan. So talking about the split push ability, I think Team Exception have the slightly better one purely because they can deal with the Nature's Prophet split push just with the Tinker. The Tinker can manage that. Whereas BriT, all they really have to deal with the Lycan split push is the Storm Spirit. And the Lycan could probably get away with that if he has a BKB quite easily. Once again, Shadowblade, Nature's Prophet, gets away. H-Hustle doesn't have a dust on him, doesn't have a sentry, no detection. The only detection they've really got is that sentry ward on the Nyx Assassin. No, there you go, there's dust on the Visage. But he's never going to be there in lane to catch the Nature's Prophet out with that. That needs to be on someone like the Axe, it needs to be on someone like the Tinker, so that they can really punish.
I think they were just pretty much saying, no, you can't get away with this stuff anymore. Essentially, Team Exception, they're just waiting for the Necro 3. Like, if they can wait for the Necro 3, then they can kind of team fight, but they can kind of like a ratty team fight. Where they kind of dodge the fight, but they don't really dodge the whole fight. They take one and they get away, and they just want to take advantage of the Necro book. So the person who's most likely going to get caught out of position is going to be the Nature's Prophet, assuming that the two supports are playing appropriately and in the right position. But meanwhile, initiation top.
Initiation top. The Grave is out there. Nyx Assassin takes a fall.
Yeah, but like as I was mentioning earlier, the two supports, like let's say the Dazzle and the Rook, they're so easy to pick off. But like assuming that their positioning is correct, the person who's most likely to be caught is going to be the Nature's Prophet, and who's going to do that is either going to be the Tinker or the Axe, and the Lycan's got to be nearby. Like that's how they're going to do the push, because the Tinker can bail at any time, Lycan can bail, and Axe is just going to tank and hopefully be there long enough to cover so that his own supports can get out. And I mean, Nyx Assassin could bail out pretty quick, and Visage is a hit or miss with the Grave Chill.
Alex needs to be careful there. The Axe is rolling through the jungle. Shadowblade popped. Going to see what he can get done to H-Hustle. Traps him into the trees. Viper is there with the ulti as well. That's an Agnim's ulti. H-Hustle happily TPs away. No lockdown apart from the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit's on the other side of the map. Said earlier, they are lacking a lot on lockdown. So it'll be nice.
Oh, this is big. Out of position.
So Storm Spirit goes in. Dips away, but he doesn't have a lot of mana. He's got mana for maybe one more zip. If the Nyx can get a good mana burn off. Body blocking from Norkio. Fantastic body blocking. Great blink. Good plays. He could have maybe zipped through that, but it was his last mana. It was his last lifeline. And now it looks like we're going to have a nice easy push here. Is the Howl up from the Lycan. Not up at the moment, but they don't need it. They've got the Necro minion. They've got the Visage from. They've got the.
Yeah. BriT team, they're actually playing a little cocky. They've been earlier they were getting the pickoffs, and that fight that they lost by the Ancients, like it didn't really phase them at all, and they're just still they're making the exceptional. They made the mistakes first, but now they're just like if we're gonna call this like a game of throws, they're just tossing the ball right back.
They're really capitalizing on these mistakes. The Dazzle feud on that Dazzle. He was really far out of position. He was sort of in the mid lane, where in between where the tier 1 was and the tier 2 is, and he just got absolutely caught out by the blink. Axe, dunked on, died, and as a result, he gave away. Let that tier 2 go down as well. And there's a Scythe of Ice finished on the Tinker. So this is maybe
Necro 3 on the Lycan as well. So that's beautiful for them right now.
Yeah, they've got a lot of pushing power. Taking those 2 towers, taking those kills, getting those pickoffs on those out of position heroes has really put the ball right into their court. Even though they're 7 kills down, you wouldn't think it. They are leading just ever so slightly on the network, ever so slightly. They've got a 5k gold lead at the moment. And XP wise, they've got about 4k lead as well. But it's definitely the ball, definitely in their court. Tibbs just running down lanes with his Vlads, with his Necro, with his Howl.
Radiant's bottom tower
and just playing relentless siege to towers. Meanwhile, in the mid, Azor getting away, gets dusted, gets a nice 2-man impale. In comes the axe as well. Lift up from Blue Dark, but I think he's going to die. KazooZ zips in, tries to get some kills, but he gets hit by the Visage Familiar Stuns. KazooZ taking a lot of damage. Dunk from the axe. He gets a double kill, double dunk for him. 7. Is he going to get dunked? He doesn't get dunked. He gets killed by the Visage Familiars, and in rolls Tib as well. 4-for-1 trade. The Tinker goes down, but they take down the Dazzle, the Viper, and the Storm Spirit. And this is push o'clock. I don't know why Tib is TPing to the tier 2 there. Maybe to try and mount a push of his team bot lane. That's a really, really big fight for Team Exception. Such a huge advantage now.
I just want to
PH
mention.
Alex can.
I want to mention that the Storm Spirit actually played very well in that team fight. He went straight for the Tinker, and he popped his Orchids on him, so he could not rearm and like resheep people. Even though the Tinker doesn't have enough mana to like use that and all his spells over and over again, the fact that he knew who he had to go for despite the losing fight, like that, I think that was just excellent.
And that decision to teleport to tier 2 mid, I really don't think it was. Looks like they haven't really got much of a tower out of that, whereas he could have pressured that tier 3 bot, and they might have got it down with the owl effort. So not really pressure their advantage. Lanes out, they get a little bit of farm for themselves. Very long Roche reset, almost a maximum up in another 2 minutes and 50 seconds. That's a long time.
Yeah, back on that point about Lycan teleporting.
And KazooZ's dead on that Storm Spirit. He gets Scythe. Is he going to be able to? No, he's not going to be able to get away. Chain Scythe by the Tinker, hit by the Impale as well. And that's another pick off on an out of position member of BriT. And it seems to be the name of the game at the moment. Team Exception really punishing the tiny mistakes. And we've got a Lycan chasing.
Top.
Yeah, is he going to be able to TP away? Does manage to TP away just about. PH Alex gets the kill onto Tinker though. Tinker instantly buys back. Because H is low and has no mana.
Because Marsh of the Machines killed the Necro summon, and that killed him.
Oh dear. So another benefit of Necronomicon against the Tinker is you can turn it back on him. I always like to get Blade Mail against Tinker. Such a I hate you, Tinker. To the, you know.
I just wanted to mention though that when Lycan ported mid, he had like Aegis up for a little bit actually, so it was kind of a waste that they didn't go for a tower.
Yeah, definitely a waste. And now he's been chased down. He pops the wolf form. Blue Dark did get it himself, but the Tinker's right in there. Huge missile damage coming out. The Ag's Viper ult comes out as well. Durko's very, very slow. Zip forward onto Lorkio from KazooZ. Focusing that Tinker once again. They're letting the Visage go, and that's not what they wanted. There is the ulti again. Viper Strike. And another dead Visage. Double kill.
This is huge.
Here is a huge initiation from H Hustle and Azor. PH Alex is TPing in. KazooZ, can he get away from the Nyx Assassin? H Prophet manages to kill the axe, but he's been surrounded by Visage creeps. And KazooZ manages to get the kill onto Nyx Assassin as well. That's a 5-man wipe. That has not gone well for Exception. You mentioned Game of Throws earlier.
I also mentioned a game of catch.
Yeah.
I just want to note that that the Furion also pinged out the Tinker when they could have gotten the Visage, but like that's just excellent objective-based gaming from Team BriT right now.
That really is. The Visage was not going to get away as quick as the Tinker could. Storm Spirit, all he needed to do was zip, static vortex him in, they could kill the Tinker, and they could easily follow the Visage afterwards. That went really, really well for BriT. They're going to look to push this tier 2 mid now. So the rest of Team Exception are going to be up pretty soon. EP's coming in.
It was an overcommitment.
And 7's going to be able to get away. Nature's Prophet takes out a tower himself, because that's what Nature. You're going to see if they can chase down 7 now. The wall forms up on Blue Dark, stolen by the Rubik. Always a fun one to steal as a Rubik. Anything that changes your shape. So seeds of confusion.
In that team wipe, I feel that after the Lycan, the Tinker and the Visage died, I felt that when the Nyx Assassin and the Axe went in, that was so unnecessary because like the two heroes were dead already, and Axe blinked in. Like I think they just thought they could do more because there were 3 Visage familiars floating around when that impale and that a blink call happened, and even I thought they were actually gonna come out on top, but they just didn't have the output without Tinker there, and with the dead Lycan, they just didn't have the output.
Now let's see if they can make more of this Aegis. They take down Roshan in without even a sweat, just absolutely wreck Roshan with that Lycan, with the medallion up so quick, and they're going to look to push this now, going to look to make something happen of this Aegis. Tinker TP onto those birds. It's another cute thing you can do with the Visage and the Tinker combo, is you can just TP onto those familiars.
There's going to be at least 40 seconds until they do something, because Lycan popped his Necro Book for the Roshan as well, so they're just waiting for that to get off cooldown before they decide to like split push or something. And they still have to deal with that Nature's Prophet.
Obviously, Lorkio on the Tinker, he can happily deal with that and then be right back in the middle of a team fight. Tib is very, very close on that Lycan to having an Assault Cuirass. He's got 3k in the bank. He's already got the Plate Mail up, so he's a couple of 100 gold away from having that. And that's going to be huge when it comes to these pushing high ground. He's going to pop the Wolf form. PH Alex is going to wisely run away. Lorkio's in there, and let's see if they can push this.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have the Storm Spirit pretty much finishes BKB. You have the Nature's Prophet getting a Desolator. That's all physical damage.
Yeah, it is. It is. And has the Lycan... Lycan hasn't actually gone a BKB in this game. Thought he might, but he didn't. He's decided not to.
He's going for the push.
He's going for the push. He's going for the team fight. That could work against him. Then again, they seem to be focusing the Tinker with the lockdown, which leaves the Lycan. He gets lifted up. Oh, Viper ulti goes onto a Wolf though, and they're going to look to push this now. 2 waves of marching machines going in there. Tib just tanking up so much damage. H-Hustle blinks in there, pops off these Shivas. Kazoo gets Graved, he gets Scythe as well. They're going to look to chase down this Storm Spirit. He gets dunked. H-Hustle taking a lot of damage. I think he managed to get a dunk on a creep there, but they take down the mid tower. Visage gets lifted up, but the Storm Spirit's down, and the Dazzle is as well. They've taken out that mid racks. And they take
that dunk was actually... That dunk was on a melee Necromonicon creep. He did it intentionally.
Oh wow, fair enough. If you're gonna go out as Axe, go out the most manliest way possible. I like that. I like that. That's very.
That was smart. That's the True Sight and the I think it's just the True Sight. Yeah, but like they have an Ix Assassin and all. Like that was just great objective gaming, because everyone except for the Axe and the Nyx went for the tower. The Nyx just blinked. Does he have a blink? Yeah, he has a blink. I saw him blink as well. So he just did the impale following up the call. The blink call.
He's going to be wrapped around. Oh, but Few. He's in a bad position. He picks up the haste, but Tib's going to be able to chase him down very easily. And the TP onto the walls from the Tinker. They take down the Dazzle out of position. I thought they were wrapping round, but obviously not. Tib gets lifted up though. He's taking a lot of damage, but it's fine. He's got an Aegis. If he dies, pop back up and trip them and it's gone. Oh no, but he's now surrounded. Surrounded by the Rubik, Viper, and Prophet. And he's by a very quick effort. That did not go well. And Lorkio TP's in. Gets stopped there. Azor gets off a huge impale onto the Storm Spirit. Rex that Mana Burn. Mana Burn doing so much damage. And the Axe takes down the Nature's Prophet around here as well.
It was an easy
kill. Looks
kill.
like BriT have lost 3. And EX, they're pressing the advantage. They take out the Rubik. There's 4 dead on the side of BriT. Buyback comes from the Nature's Prophet. Let's have a look at the buyback status. Viper has buyback as well if they need it. Viper buys, Rubik buys back.
7's done.
Dunk onto the Viper, but he has the buyback, he buys back straight away. Does the Storm Spirit have it? No, he does not. No buyback on the Storm. They're going to look to take this tier 3. Shivas pops off from the Axe. He gets trapped in the trees, takes a lot of damage. And I think he just dunked the creep.
Necromonic. No, that was just the Nature's Prophet's creep. The tree creep. He just keeps dunking stuff as he goes out.
Well, you might as well. If you're going to fall, take as many down as you can with you. It's the manly way to play. Oh, that poor... Get away. Great escape. No. Gets chased down. 4 staff from the Rubik. Oh no! Manages to escape over the high ground. Just about.
Like, BriT, they overexerted, and then Exceptional, they just responded, but then it seems like it was another back and forth game of catch again.
Yeah, yeah. One team overextends, gets caught out. The other team then overextends, gets caught out again. Very back and forth. And that melee racks is still up. The range racks obviously went down 2 team fights ago. That melee racks is still up. Only the mega range creep we're going to see. Nothing massive to worry about, but obviously one good push, one good team fight, and BriT will take that racks down. And they could easily throne from there with their lineup. That Lycan's picked up his AC. Yeah, he's got his Hyperstone, got the plate mail. I think he's saving, making sure he's got buyback. He's still got the buyback at the moment. Peek into Roche. Oh no, there is the AC. He had it on the courier. And he's got 2k
Two things
gold.
I wanted to mention earlier. I don't think this Lycan is really going for a more team fight, because if he wanted a team fight, he would have gotten that VKB.
Yeah.
But like he's just kind of aura. He's just going for aura push strat, because like all that extra armor and stuff was really so that they can push the tower and just have axe as a throwaway. The other thing I wanted to mention was that actually I've kind of forgot what that last second note I wanted to say. But the thing is, they just like they have Visage Familiars. They have 3 of them, and they just melt towers. Like they don't need Lycan to really be that strong. They just need to kill the buildings.
And they're really taking advantage of the fact that they only have one source of lockdown on BriT, and it tends to be going on the Tinker more often than not. So the Lycan and the Visage Familiars with the Howl up, they can just happily take Munch towers down very quick. Like that Howl with those Familiars, that is so powerful. Necro deployed now. Huge creep wave coming in. Out comes the Howl. Let's have a look. Oh, that tower melting so fast. Those Visage Familiars absolutely wrecking it. They're going to go for the racks as well.
There's no counter push.
There's no counter push. There's not.
They have no counter push. Even if they have counter push, even if they have counter push, they have 3 Necro 3s. How are you gonna anti push that?
Oh,
it's so cheesy.
It's cheesy. It's a zoo strat. They've got a big zoo of animals. They've got Lycan howling to make sure they can absolute towers, and it's worked. They've got the bottom lane of racks. Mid lane is still heavily in.
And I don't want to take away from other teams about this, because I remember what I wanted to mention earlier. What I wanted to mention earlier was that seeing the Nature's Prophet with the Lycan, I thought this was going to be a really ratty game. And personally, like my personal opinion, I don't like ratty games because it's just more on the boring side to watch and stuff. And like I'm just surprised at like how much more like fun engagements there are this game.
Oh, Visage got caught out there. He'd already dropped his familiar stuns as well, so he couldn't even save himself with those. Gets caught out by the Spirit, zips it. Static Vortex is...
That was like 600-700 gold there, like like 250 factoring level. That's about 300-400 gold just for the hero, and then 300 gold for each familiar. I mean, sorry, 300 gold.
Bot lane's pushing right into the base. And the Boots of Travel Tinker. Lycan's picked up a Boots of Travel as well. Here we go. It's Rat Dota. It's backdooring time. Wolves come out. So do the Necro minions. Storm Spirit's there. He's dealing with it. They're going to look to take out this second lane of racks. I think they're going to do it very easily. Viper ulti's there. He's going to be able to. He's a little pig. He's a fast little pig. Gets caught out though. Does not have the Aegis anymore. Just about escapes. And that mid racks goes down to the creeps. Oh, sorry, not to Necronomic. Prophet manages to take down the Tinker, but that's 2 lanes of racks now. It's desperation time for them. They're going to have to heavily turtle and try and win a big team. See if they can backdoor off the back of it.
They need to win a team fight, and they have to force buybacks and kill them while they don't have buybacks.
Illusion.
Because they have a Tinker, they have Visage Familiars, they have Boots of Travels on the Lycan, they can just pour it in. Buyback poured in at almost any time. So they have to force the buybacks.
Have a look at this. Tier 1 bottoms even. Tier 1 bottom still standing. They can roast whenever they want by the VX. These 2 lanes of racks are down. That tier 1's up. They're not going to have a problem roashing when that. And once they've got that roach, Lycan picks up the Aegis. I think it's GG from there. Like they have to try and and the Nature's Prophet gets himself caught out as well.
Nyx Assassin hit at him, and Nature's Prophet looked like he was free to go, but Lycan committed the ultimate just to get him, just to make sure he's dead.
Hungry like the wolf, like the Duran Duran. There's a joke.
But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, like I don't like ratty games, but even if this game turns into a rat in the next well, it's kind of been rat for the last 2-3 minutes, but even if it is rat for the rest of it, I'm content. Like they had enough big fights and actual like what I'm gonna call, and I might get flack for this, real Dota. That it's at this point, it's just who has the more farm and who can get away with doing what. It's all decision making at this point.
And once again, here's this Roche going down. Both lanes were pushed in by the Tinker. Roche dies a very quick death. Axe denies the Aegis. What happened
Oh my god,
there?
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Intentional.
Fun fact, I've been trying to get one of my friends to deny an Aegis in a competitive game for a long time, and like shoutouts to me because I want an item drop to that. Like I'm not saying like this was planned because this was totally not planned. I do not know anyone on these teams, but like it's interesting.
There's the Aegis in ult. Tinker manages to take out the Storm Spirit, and that's a lot of damage. Nature's Prophet's still down for another 4 seconds. So I think they're looking to GG put this top left mega creeps fully out of the way. Trouble comes in will come the familiars, out comes the How, the tower absolutely melts, and Axe is just standing there, cancel casting his battle hunger, doesn't matter, down goes the rats, Storm Spirit's not there, doesn't have the buyback, 7, he gets graved, but it's all futile, mega creeps up. I think we're going to have a little bit of friendly fountain camping, hopefully not. Like an on a killing spree, but there's the GG call by BriT.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Even though they had the kill lead, EX just the opportunity to push. Really made use of the fact that Lycan could be fast, and it's a victory to them. So we have another game in this series coming up between BriT and X for the Dota 2 French. So we will be back for that in around 5 minutes time. Stay tuned for that one here on VicaraGaming.